Hi, Jay. Thank you so much for coming on board with me today to my first live broadcast. And I thought, well, gosh, if I'm going to go live and it's going to be my first, I might as well talk to one of the heavy hitters out there that's been a part of EXP and a part of really solidifying that I made the right choice when I made this migration over to EXP Realty. So with no further ado, just so that people know a little bit about you that might not already know, the National Association of Expert Advisors, you are the co-founder and CEO of that.
Yep.
And you're just an amazing entrepreneur. You were part of a brokerage, then built your own brokerage, and just you were just gung-ho and ready to go in your own direction. And I know that a couple of different times you had heard about EXP, but maybe the timing or just wasn't right. But there was something that you said about Ray Dalio's book about being radically open-minded. And I think from the day I was born, I was radically open-minded. I've always been curious. There's always got to be a better way. My dad said you can't build a better mousetrap, but I thought that maybe you can, right?
Yeah.
Right. So what I would love to hear is a little bit more about you, kind of, how you made that migration. But really, you've talked with so many people who've been where you were prior to coming to EXP, and you probably hear this theme that keeps going of kind of like the top three, or challenges, concerns, or questions that people have about I just don't know.
Right. Sure. Absolutely. We can talk through all of that. I've got, a long history of being in real estate. I guess I was born kind of like, on the floor of a real estate office. My dad was in real estate the year I was born, got into real estate in 1977, and did primarily like a little bit of sales, but mostly like property management. That's what I remember growing up around. And ultimately, I saw one day I was mowing yards. He was giving me all his rental property to mow as from 16, 17, 18 years old, and graduated high school. And I went in to get a check one day, and he had just bought a Coldwell Banker franchise that year. And so he had a bunch of agents now. He used to have a whole bunch of agents. There was a handful of people. They didn't really focus on it that much on the sales side until he bought this franchise. And so this guy was, getting this check the same day as me. And I think he got a check for, it was, over $5,000. And, my check was not anywhere close to that. So I was like, well, what did this guy do today? I want to do more of what he's doing. If he's making that kind of money, I just need to do that once a month. That'd be good. And so that kind of, led me to getting a real estate license and, going through all the challenges of the entrepreneurial challenges of being an agent, and how do you figure out how to get customers, and you spend a lot of time and really a lot of money, learning from anybody that would teach me anything, and had a little bit of success, and then I got around more people that were more successful, and I was like, okay, well, if they can do it, I can do it. What are they doing? And learned from those folks, and bought different coaching programs and all that kind of stuff, and ultimately became pretty successful at it, selling 500 plus homes a year, built a big team. Then I went independent, started my own brokerage, stopped paying the high fees that were associated with being a part of the Coldwell Banker network. Great company, just was a lot of money, and didn't see the value in that. So started independent and got into coaching and training agents and all that. And then ultimately, thankfully I had read Ray Dalio's book recently, and I think I had to assume that I was wrong in my thinking, that maybe there was a brokerage that added more value than the traditional brokerages that I was familiar with, and being open-minded and looking at that and asking a few better questions, like if we were going to make this work, how would we do it? We start to formalize a real opportunity for us to grow something on this platform we call EXP. And I think a lot of folks have to get to that point where they're open-minded to really understand it, and that was where I was. It took 2 or 3 people, talking to me about it before I really truly, opened the gate of the mind and really started, looking at it as an opportunity. And we came over in towards the end of 2017.
Okay, great. You just mentioned about the open-mindedness. We didn't talk about this before, but I'm just wondering, there's a lot of times in life, no matter what it is that we're doing, whether it's our home life, our work life, spiritual life, we kind of get and creatures of habit as humans, right? We want to find out what's our pattern, what's our routine. We kind of want to control our environment and get it kind of set and know what to expect. And we kind of get on that. And that's one of the things that I've always referred to as like, really, it's kind of like a treadmill. Unless you're uncomfortable, you're not going to get an open mind to move to something else. But I often wonder is sometimes I think we might be uncomfortable, or we might not be doing the best thing that we can for our family or our home life, our community, in our work. But we just get up the next day and keep doing what we've been doing and then go to bed. And it might be something we kind of think about, or it's the back of our mind, but that thing that causes inside of each person where they say, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to make a difference in what I do. It's uncomfortable and it takes time, energy, and effort. And I've found just in the few people that I've talked to is maybe they're at the end of their career and they've been brokers for a while. And they're like, you know what, I'm really not training. I'm just I'm going to do a few things, but yet they're all having to do some form of production and get out there and do. And I'm talking to people that are like 55 plus, right? I came late to the game at 55, or 53. So I wanted to do something different with my life and make a difference. And what I realized right away was that my number one client in real estate, really, if I'm here to help and serve others, is going to be the real estate agent, the real estate broker, the entrepreneurial mindset that says, I want to grow something and make a difference. I've never been somebody who wants to have a cap put on me. No matter what company I've worked with, you reach that cap. The most amazing thing that I have found with EXP is that there's no cap, there's no boundaries, there's no borders. And I've been a global thinker since I was little, fortunate enough to travel with my father's business and company and just see that the same thing we do here in the US, in California, Texas, wherever, people are doing all over the place. And so how do we reach out and network, and why have a limit? So what are what's the number one thing that you would find when you're talking to agents? I know I just found that they're just comfortable. So it's not even that they don't know that there's so much more, right? They're just kind of in. So what have you found?
Yeah. So I think, you made a really good point, that I think a lot of folks aren't looking to make any changes when things are really good. Right. And so it's until something's not going well that you start looking for, okay, hey, this is, how can I make this better? And, it's always been helpful. I don't remember who it was that said this to me, and it was years and years and years ago, but it's been my philosophy and how we always do everything. And that's, you always say yes to opportunity until you have to say no. And so, you never know. You don't know what you don't know. And that's really where I think most agents find themselves. You think, plus or minus 10%, you probably know what EXP is. Like, it's got to be plus or minus 10%, just like anything else that's out there. It's not that dramatically different. And the truth is that that's not the case. It is dynamically completely different than any traditional brokerage model. And so, until you really can unpack that and you really investigate it with curiosity and an open mind, you just don't realize how big the opportunity really is. And so that I think that was what, for me, it took me spending that time myself. Nobody could have given me that until I was open to receiving it. And so, it starts there. And I think most agents are still thinking about their business very transactionally, the way most agents I've ever coached have, which is, they're looking for that next sale. They're looking for that next little idea to sell another home. And they don't really realize that there might be a better way that they've never even thought about that could change their entire perspective of their real estate career, and how much more you could get out of it, and really how much more you could give back, and how fulfilling it is to give back and help others that are in the same industry, which is really the culture of EXP.
Absolutely. And you hit the nail on the head. I love production, and in today's market, I love good competition, right? And you've got to be pretty competitive if you are in the production side of things right now, especially if you're a buyer's agent out there, right? So I know that there's a lot of brokers and team leads out there. They need their, I mean, at the end of the day, we still sell homes, commercial property, things like that, right? So it's not like you're just stepping completely away from production. That's still a very important part of what we do in real estate at the end of the day. But like what you were saying is that mindset, if you're an entrepreneurial mindset and you realize that there's passive income and the community part. So this is the thing, Jay, you're with a different organization, right? So within the platform of EXP, we're all sharing the opportunity. Those of us that really get it, we want to share that with people we know. I always tell people it's not a cult or anything like that, but gosh, I'm a person of faith. And at the end of the day, if someone's open to hearing about my faith, of course I want to share that with them because it's life-changing and it alters, and gives me a hope for a future. And I equate EXP as that same thing, is that if you're in real estate, my gosh, I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't share with you, if you were open to hear about this opportunity. And oftentimes I think, gosh, maybe I did something wrong if they just don't get it. Right. And so that's, again, another reason why I wanted to bring you on and talk with you today, because I know that happens and I know it's timing with everything, but it really is that open mindset. And so I guess what I would ask you is, I feel very blessed that I hopped on a little, a little local boutique brokerage. There was like 5 agents, and it's the lady that sold me the house. And she told me you could do whatever you want because they already knew I was a business entrepreneur. I had a brokerage. And then one of my insurance clients happened to be in real estate. And I said, maybe I should move over to him because he's got some name recognition in the area and stuff. And I could kind of tag that or whatever. Lo and behold, he was getting ready to move his entire brokerage over to eXp Realty. And so I went into his office and sat down to hear about the opportunity. And what I did was I said, this is amazing. This was the missing link on why I didn't come to real estate before, was the passive income, right? The passive revenue, and that there is no caps and that you can expand. And I said, so wait a minute, you mean to tell me I could, for my entrepreneurial mindset, is that I can be a broker from day one, because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to grow a team. I wanted to coach people. I wanted to get people fired up. It's right there on my little heading thing. I want to educate, encourage, and equip, right? Because, personal satisfaction for me, I know that I can go out and get sales. I know that I can talk to people, and it's a blessing that my gifts and talents are a blessing from above, and I'm grateful for that. But I'm supposed to give back, and I know that you can't outgive. So this platform was just amazing for that. So the giving back and serving others. When you talk to someone and they're like, I don't know, Jay, I'm over here, we're doing this kind of volume, and what, the cost. I know people talk about cost and, well, what do you mean we don't have an office anymore? And, there's a lot of people who still keep their office, right? Like, how do you kind of go over some of those challenges?
Yeah. So it's kind of funny because, I think, one of the things that happens at a certain point in every agent's or broker's career that you don't really get as excited about selling another house or another $10 million worth of houses. And at that point, you're probably looking for ways to get out of production and get some of your time back and your evenings back and your weekends back. And so previously there just wasn't a way to do that. And I think this is the case for most agents. Everyone has the opportunity to be at EXP and get paid to be here and not pay them anything and not give them anything. And so mathematically, it's almost always a no-brainer. It certainly has a bigger upside than any other possibility that you could have. And so even if you're on your own and you're independent and you have your own brokerage and you have no cost, or you're at a transactional deal where you're paying a little bit per transaction, you're not getting paid to be there. Right. And so, the upside opportunity at EXP is so much greater. And
I think we're having a connection issue.
It could be this Puerto Rico internet, but I don't know. It seems like it's working right now. So
Yeah, you're
I'm
good.
not
You're
frozen.
good now. You're
Okay, good.
back.
All right. So usually I'm frozen for a while, but I wasn't frozen this time. So, yeah. So yeah, I think that this platform provides an opportunity for whatever the future, retirement or slowing down, or if you're really ambitious to build something really big and do it in
Right,
a ways that you couldn't have done it individually near as easily, right?
right,
We in so many, agents in, I mean, all 50 states, we're in 21 or 2 countries now. It's a platform you can recruit to, and you just couldn't do that easily, either in a traditional brokerage model where there's boundaries that you can't recruit
right,
from, outside of, or there's, you're independent and you have to open up, there's all these complexities of opening up brokerages in every state. All that goes away. And so like the true visionary, or the person who's wanting to spend more time adding value to other people's lives, all of those things just fit better in this platform. And so whether, the flip side of that is, if you're an agent that's trying to grow and you're like, man, I don't care about none of that, tell me how to sell another 25 homes this year. Well, guess what? We're all compensated to help you do that. So,
that's
this
right.
is, you couldn't be in a better place, than to have people that have, a track record of success of not only helping people, them not only doing it themselves, but helping others do it too. You're
Right.
always going to be better off in being in that room with those people that are at that level you're trying to get to. And so, and when you have a financial incentive to, they have a financial incentive to help you do it. That's a different
Right.
story, right? It's just not the
Right.
same. In every office I've ever been in, the competitors were, you're across the office from your competitor, and they're, even though you might be in the same company, you might be fighting over the same client. And certainly, you're competing for the same opportunities within that marketplace, and you just don't feel that at EXP.
Well, that's, and I'm glad that you brought that up. That's one of the main things that I'm somebody who likes to help. I go to insurance meetings and I would ask really good questions, right? Because I'm out in the trenches, I'm doing the work, and they would have, the regional people come in and they're like open for questions. At the end of the meeting, everyone would come over to me and they'd be like, well, how did you find this or that? And what I was realizing is that a lot of people are not willing to open up to like their industry secrets, right? They kind of got it hidden. And what I found was, well, I'm 3 hours away from you. You've got your marketplace, I've got my marketplace, right? Why wouldn't I share or help people with different platforms, or like how to do a social media post? And people are like, why would you help them? They're your competition. It's like, I never viewed it that way. But when I
Right.
got into real estate, I realized right away that it is definitely, a lot of people are guarded with their information. And when I became part of EXP, it was much more accommodating to how I like to conduct business and how I like to work with people. Fellow
Mhm.
professionals that have an expertise, that are willing to help. We sharpen each other, willing to share. And I just, you don't find that at other places
Mhm.
at all. And at the end of the day, I think it's better for our clients, right?
Yep.
If I equate it like in the medical realm, right? Now, if there is a rare disease, people go online, the physicians, their teams go online and they're looking all across the world and all different things with the patient that comes in with something, all these different conditions. Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to collaborate and come down and
Mhm.
narrow it down as fast as possible. How do we resolve this issue, or what's the best way to deal with this issue? Well, that's the way I look at EXP Realty.
Mhm.
Hearing him talking with you today, I've got Tom Daves, Brent Gove. I can go on and on. There are so many people that I could reach out to, a text message, have an interview with, and talk with about how do I, even if it is a production question, or hey, I'm getting ready to scale and I'm on that treadmill of production and I'm wanting to, how do I now branch out and make that shift? How do I pivot and make that shift? I'm sure that's
Oh
probably one
yeah.
of the top questions that you have.
Yeah. It really is. And it's, and I can't tell you how valuable it is to have, to have the resources around you where you don't have to crash into the wall. You can kind of see what, around the corner, so to speak, of what's coming and
Mhm.
what challenges and what to watch out for. And, the prior way that I was able to grow my business was, and all the companies that I've been a part of, is by investing and being in the room with those types of individuals. And I had to invest a lot of money. I invested a ton of money to be at a mastermind, be in a coaching group, be a part of this, or using a particular technology. So you go to these events or whatever. And it wasn't until you get in the room with people that are right there that maybe just went through what you are about to go through that you really, learn from. And that's where, that's where this happens every day here. Like that is, you're immediately plugged in, to so many resources and people that can help and that are willing and able to help, that you don't have to make those mistakes that sometimes are setbacks for years. You can go backwards a couple of years, and sometimes if you make the wrong choices, do the wrong things, maybe the right things in the wrong order. And so, yeah, it's, that transition, for a lot of folks is difficult to do it and maintain the, the margins that you want, that kind of thing. And so, yeah, it's extremely helpful to have people that know how to navigate those waters and help you make the best possible decision given your current situation and where you're trying to take your business.
And it's not in a competitive sense. It's in a building up. It's that educating, encouraging, and equipping others to do the same, right? So your background and your expertise, you're willing to share, and you've just the training, the platforms that we get inside eXp Realty, right? And one of the things that was the probably the biggest challenge, but now is the thing that I love the most, was just moving my little icon person. I don't even know what an avatar,
Right.
getting that moved around. And then, the Sheldon said, "Oh, just use the little up and down keys. It's a lot easier," because I would keep running into walls and stuff. And then the real easy thing is just go straight up with your cursor and go to the stateroom, and then go to the commissions room.
Right.
And
Right. You don't have to walk.
Yeah. And then pull a ticket. And, I go in there, maybe I'm the first one, or maybe I'm the second or third one. But man, to have instant access to someone who's handing out the checks, instant access, or, doing the paperwork to make sure that that's done, instant access to someone if you're having a tech issue, or go into one of the recorded trainings, or to go in and find out, if you're growing your organization, you're bringing on agents, the training alone, like, you can't duplicate yourself. But with eXp, the quality and the quantity of everything is there, that the sky's the limit. Have you found that that's one of the like easiest things or selling factors that a broker sees when they're coming over? It's like, my gosh, that just removed a whole heap of time off my slot.
Yeah, it's ironically, it's actually probably the last thing that they really truly understand and embrace. And it's because we've done real estate the same way for all our lives. We can't imagine it being done different. No different than the first time I ordered a book on Amazon. I couldn't imagine they were going to deliver everything to my house the way they do today. And after using taxi cabs, I had to feel in there had to be a better way there, but I never would have created Uber. But I can't imagine going back to the video store to rent videos to watch when I can just stream it live. So, like, there's all these efficiencies you see in all these other industries that happen. And at first, nobody gets them, right? Like, at first, they're like, yeah, that's, streaming, this is really slow with my internet connection. This is never going to work, right? Or whatever. But this is one of those, I think that's just, it's sneaky how good it is. And you don't really know how good it is until you experience it. And so, yes, you don't realize how fast the communication is and how much time you save by, and how much more training you could have access to, because the guy that does training on Thursdays, you couldn't be there because you had a showing, and that happens once a Thursday, right? Well, there's training, there's 55 hours a week of training at eXp, and it's all recorded and archived, and you can go back and watch it. So, like, the efficiencies of whatever it is that you need, the amount of time that you can collapse with the efficiencies of technology, being a cloud-based brokerage, not having to drive into a physical office to get an answer to a question or a support, or to learn from someone, or rub shoulders with someone. It happens all the time in real time, and that just it just collapses time. No matter what it is, if it's a problem that's trying to be solved that you need to have solved, or it's something you're trying to learn, it just happens faster, and it's way more efficient. And then once you experience it, more sense. I should be able to click 2 buttons on my phone and get to the broker and get a question answered just about any time, right? Like those are the things that until you experience, I feel like people don't realize, at least initially, they don't realize how much better it is. They may think they see that okay, yeah, this could be more efficient. I get it. But a lot of people, at least for the last 4 years, almost 4.5 years that I've been here, they almost have to experience that before they really embrace it and understand that, okay, this is not just different, but this is better.
Yeah. And you said they really have to jump in. I know one of the things that I tried to explain to people is that from a faith-based standpoint, right? If you have this gift, whatever it is, right? You have this gift, but you never use it. You don't know the depth or the places that you could go with it, right? And so I kind of look at EXP is, like you said, we've all done real estate a certain way. We have a mind of how real estate works, how brokerages work. But this is something that's so different, but yet it's in the realm of a real estate brokerage. We're an online brokerage. What does that mean? We're a cloud-based brokerage. What does that mean? And I think what happens is, like what we talked about earlier, is if what we're doing right now, just the status quo is okay for us, we're not really that uncomfortable, or maybe we're uncomfortable, we're not ready for change, then we just keep kind of doing what we do and say, I don't know, I don't think that's for me. And what we're really saying is, I don't know if I want to go into jumping in, like you said, jump in and explore everything that it has to offer. And then once you jump in and you actually become a part of it, like you said, there's just there's just these layers that keep unpeeling, and you go, oh my gosh, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year down the road, where you're like, man, if I had known that I could have been doing this all along, I would have done it. It's so immense. And that's where I tell people, it's like having a race car that can do like 0 to 120 and nothing flat. And it has all these really cool gadgets and gizmos, and it's absolutely beautiful. Well, it's there. It's in the garage. You know all the specs on it. You've researched it. You understand it. But until you get behind the wheel and open that car up, right, and just let it go, that need for speed and that exhilaration, I think, honestly, that's how I would equip. I just keep getting more and more excited. This is my 3rd year in real estate, and I joined EXP about 6 weeks after I became an agent. I was only with that little brokerage. I feel so incredibly blessed. I've shared the opportunity with people, just really not knowing, other than just raw sharing it with people that I come in contact with. But, honestly, in this online brokerage where we have the world is our platform, I've done mission work in the Philippines, in Peru, international adoption to China. My daughter, she was almost a year when they placed her in our arms, and now she's 15 and attending a school in valedictorian. The world has so much to offer us, and it's just something where we can jump in, and the sky is the limit. And I think that with EXP, that's what has really made me excited, is that I'll be able to coach, encourage, equip others, that there's other people in other parts of the United States and other countries where maybe they're not excited about it anymore. Like you said, it's just same old thing. But why not have passion and fire all the way through to the last breath that you take on this earth? That's what I'm all about. What about you, Jay?
Yeah, no, it's there's a lot. I mean, there's been so many people that had been doing this for a long, long time, and really are in a lot of ways maybe real apprehensive of change because they're somewhat comfortable, but that once they started, like you said, action breeds clarity. And so as you start taking action and looking into this and then learning and then getting excited about this and then seeing, oh my gosh, you guys built tools and things to help me with all this. Like, I didn't know that. And they start learning more and more and more. Then their entire careers change and they're back excited like when they very first got started again. And that's a special part of this. Is Gene Frederick used to always say, is like making real estate fun again. And I think that is what we're doing.
That's right. It's making real estate fun again. Jay, you have been just an incredible person to interview for my first interview here.
Appreciate
Like
it.
I had spoke with before, is just everyone that I seem to come across with EXP that is, at the volume. And how many people are in your organization now? 10?
Yeah, it's north of 10,000, probably
Okay.
approaching 11,000 total with all of us together. Yeah, it's a big number, bigger than I had ever dreamed. I mean, that was, I think our vision was 2,000 partners with what we were doing before EXP.
Yeah.
And so to be, and that was like a vision that was like a 10-year vision. So it was like, it was actually an 8-year vision at that time. It was like 2,000 partners by December 27th, 2024. And here we are, 2022 at, over 10,000. So, this is, that's the thing, the biggest mistake I think people make is they have a vision, they're doing something successful with maybe their big team or their independent brokerage. And they think that they have to give up that thing to join this thing. And that's not what it is. This is a vehicle to help you get to build your thing faster. And once the ego gets out of the way and you understand that, then it's like,
Yes.
oh, this is just fuel for my vehicle that I've built and my vision that I've had. And that's when, it becomes very difficult to sleep, and you do a lot of pacing around because you see, oh my gosh, this is just so much better.
Yes. Well, I know for me, one of the things I expanded into real estate from my insurance, right? So I have passive income that's coming in through being an insurance broker for over 26 years. And expanding, what's another financial product that I just love and could expand into my client base, right? By the way, Jay, I haven't even tapped into that yet because I wanted to prove to myself that I was able to just do it organically. And it's been amazing. And so now I know, yeah, this is my thing, my passion, my love. But the first thing I thought was, well, my gosh, there's other insurance brokers out there who have this huge book of business, a clientele. I have my clients ask me all the time, well, do you sell anything else? Like you build that trust and that relationship, and they come to you for more. And what I realized was this is an incredible opportunity for people that are looking for passive income. And I've found that there's other professionals who see that it's not just about selling houses. This truly is a business platform where you can grow an organization where the sky is the limit. And, I've heard people say, I know you're one of those multi-level things, like, a multi-level marketing and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't think so. Cause I think, that kind of stuff is illegal, but I know that we're publicly traded. So I don't think we would be an illegal organization and be publicly traded at the same time. Right. Have you ever heard anything like that?
Yeah. From time to time, not so much anymore. I think, generally it comes from either somebody that they trust has told them this, or they just haven't done their own research. And so they look for what's familiar to them. Oh, I did this network marketing thing one time. That must be what this is, or whatever. And so, we don't sell pills, potions, and lotions here at EXP. We sell real estate. So, it's not even close to the same. And so when I hear that, I just know that this is someone who has not been educated and informed on the business model, probably to their own detriment. They haven't looked into it themselves. And so they just need more information, right? So, that is, when you have something that's complex and different, you're oftentimes misunderstood, and
That's
I think,
right.
EXP's been misunderstood for quite some time, but it's kind of hard to ignore now that, that we're at the size that we're at and the pace that we're growing, and it's never been done before, all that good stuff. And so I think people still don't know. They may think that maybe a little bit in their mind, but if they truly are being open-minded, and if they understand really what network marketing is, it's basically, it's a mechanism for how to take a product to market through word of mouth, which is the way this company grows, is through word of mouth. Agents who tell other agents. And, the good news is we don't ever tell agents, I've never tried to tell an agent about EXP that I didn't want to work with. Right. So like we
Right.
only tend to attract like-minded, growth-minded
Yes.
individuals. And so,
Yes.
some people, and this is the other thing I always think is funny, is like in every other capacity, if you're being recruited, it's a positive thing, right? Like if you're being recruited into the NFL or in any other sport, that's a positive experience. And that's something that, that's saying somebody, there's value, you have value in that somebody wants you. And in real estate, it's a bad thing, right? Or whatever. So like, if nobody's ever told you about EXP, that it might be like a real sign that you need to work on yourself and your self-development a little bit, because it means nobody really wants to work with you. But for the most part, I think, we all get excited to share the opportunity, because, we know that most people don't truly understand it. And then if they did, they'd be crazy not to join. And so like, it's just a matter of like, okay, when somebody that's not here just doesn't get it yet, maybe I can help them get it. And, of course there's timing and there's things of that nature, but like, I've never sat down with one person that I explained the opportunity to, that at the end of that, they could have explained it to me the way that it truly is if they partnered with us at EXP. They never, ever have it right. Now they'll tell you 99% of the time that they know what it is. And I can just tell you, it's never happened that someone understood the entire opportunity in the business model. And so, that's just a sign that it's something that needs educate and inform. And then, this is one of the ways we do that. There, somebody may be watching this video today and be like, okay, I'm going to check into that and have a conversation at least, and maybe get some answers to questions where I'm not clear. And then ultimately they can make a choice that's what's best for them.
Well, 100%. And that's what I'm hoping that this video will do. And I'm going to be having other people on. My next interview is going to be with Pete Middleton for luxury. He's the luxury listings guy, and he features that. And he's got a whole luxury team. And, I've heard people say, well, I do luxury listings, so I need to be part of this brand or that brand. And EXP is just residential, but we've got commercial, luxury. We've got everything real estate. EXP's platform covers and provides the same business model and same opportunity in every single facet that we do. Wouldn't you say that?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I think that's absolutely true.
Yeah. So I'm super excited for people to find out more about the opportunity. And if they find out about it through this conversation, I know that you've got your trainings and things like that. Of course, I'm looking to add people to my organization. I mean, you're at 10,000. I'm hoping to grow to 10,000. Yep. By the time I get there, maybe you'll be at 20 or 30,000, right? But the cool thing is there's plenty of room for everyone, right?
There's an awful lot of people out there that need our help. And so we have to continue spreading the word.
That's right. And so I really appreciate your time today. On all social media platforms, I am at MyAgentHayley. So I'm hoping that you follow me, Jay. I'm following you. And I've been watching you, and you obviously know by the people around you that you're doing a fantastic job at what you do. And I would say my number one takeaway from you is that you are you're very personable. Obviously, you have the expertise, and like you said, you were born on the floor of a real estate office. So you basically have lived, breathed, and eaten real estate basically your entire life. But one of the things, and my biggest takeaway, is that you're an amazing human that has this ability to connect and a desire to give back. And those three things right there is a winning combination for anyone in any industry, whether it's a business, in your family. And I know that all of that reflects in your daily life and the people around you. So, kudos to you for giving back. I appreciate it. And I hope that somebody today that has watched this will reach out to yourself or to me and find out more about EXP and how to make this their platform and how they can start to grow their career. Because the tools and everything that's given is just, it's unsurpassed. Me being new, it's hard for, when I say new, people keep telling me, don't say that. You're not new to business. You've been around for a long time. And I think that's why the business model just ding, ding, ding. I saw the business model side of it.
Right. Yep.
And understood that more than, understanding
Most
the real
people,
estate side of it. Right.
Yep.
So I think that's why I was like, this is fire. This is amazing. And I want to share that with other people. Yep. Right. Yeah. Yep. So, and you're one big fire. I know that you get all the little fires all put together. Right. And then we just, it takes over. It's absolutely amazing. I've been working with Nick Krem at Krem. I think it's Krem Incorporated or Krem Industries. Yep. He's helping me with all my social media and all of that. And so I just want to encourage people, if you need help and you're just starting out in this whole realm of social media videos and things like that, Nick Krem's the guy, and
He's awesome.
want to give him a shout out. Yeah. And I really appreciate it. And any parting words that you would have, like,
yeah, I mean, yeah, don't stay comfortable, and don't stay in the struggle if you don't feel like you have the support and the resources you need to get through it. Reach out, have a conversation. You have nothing to lose, everything to gain. We'd be happy to help you. So just don't sit and do nothing. Take action, move in a direction towards something.
Absolutely. And that's a beautiful sentiment. Everywhere we are, no matter where you go and what you do, we need one another. And to say, hey, I need help, or I'm struggling here, or I'm frustrated with this or that part of my business. That's really what EXP is all about. That's what the encourage, equip, and team building and organizational building and the platform, on a much larger scale, to meet, Glenn Sanford face to face and have conversations. And I mean, who does that, right?
Right.
With an organization like this. And so I appreciate it. I appreciate your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Absolutely.
And I wish you all the best. And I hope to check in with you soon. Maybe when I've got a few others under my belt here, I'll check back maybe 6 months or a year from now. Obviously, we'll talk sooner than that, but we'll bring you back on and kind of see where you have pivoted and grown, and some more words of wisdom that you have for us. And on that, you're frozen. He's in Puerto Rico right now, folks. So I want to thank you for tuning in on behalf of myself, Hayley Friedman, and Jay Kinder. And we wish you well and blessings.